Hey guys, welcome back to Miss About Crochet. I'm Bree and it is day 5 of Stitchmas. So today we're going to open up our little advent present and then I'm going to show you some of my favorite things I've made this year. Without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, our advent present. So this one is on the light side. Yesterday was heavy. Today's on the light side. Something I always need. Let me just pull these out. Stitch markers. I mean, these are like my favorite. These are my go-to. The Clover, they're the jumbo locking stitch markers. These are my favorite. These are my go-to. But I also sometimes need these little ones because like if I'm making like a sweater, let's say, and I want to try it on and it's 2 pieces, well, I could use the little ones to hold the seams like together. Let's say if I'm trying to make sure the arm's going to be wide enough, I can put them down the arm and make sure I'm going to be able to slide my arm in. And these hold it tighter and give me a better idea if something's going to fit well. Or sometimes I need like more than just 2 colors when I'm marking things. So, and I like that these are in like a hard plastic with a latch. These are going to be great. So I definitely will be adding these to my, into my kit. Now, now we're on to the, my 10 favorite things. I don't have them in any particular order. I just have them kind of stacked up over here. And I have a little note card so I can make sure I tell you like where the pattern comes from. I will also put in the description, like if I can find a link to the pattern. And I'll try to remember to say like if it's something I paid for. So, first things first, this is one of my favorite things for sure. The most colorful. This was a Marley Bird pattern. Well, I think technically it's a Robin Chuchula, but it was for the Marley Bird turkey trot. And it's got this nice cowl here that you just slip over your head. And then it's got this beautiful scarf part that hangs down. So this is great to put on and then like you can throw your jacket over it. And I really like this yarn. I do believe, okay, so I got the yarn from Hirschner's. It was a Premier like DK, I want to say. And I really think it's soft and nice. And when I made this, like my thoughts were, I was inspired by like a mallard duck. So, like a mallard drake specifically. So, the green, the little bit of the blue, the brown, the yellow, you know, like the beak, like it all came together and that was kind of my inspiration because I was like looking for something to like kind of base my colors on and that's what I came up with. So, that's one of my favorites. Now, that was for turkey trot. I don't know if you can buy the pattern separate. I'll have to, when I go to put the description together for this video, I'll definitely see if I can do that. So here is the Moonlit Path Mosaic Slippers. These are also a Marley Bird pattern. Now I had like a coupon and so I ended up getting the pattern for free, but it is a paid pattern. I don't know if there's a free version on her blog. I'll have to look into that. But I'll make sure I put all that information in the description. These I thought were really nice. I think also I saw where Hirschner's you can buy a kit and you can get like the pattern and then like in the yarn. And it's got mosaic right here. And like, I don't just super into mosaic. Like the last one had mosaic too. I think mosaic is just such an interesting like technique. And I think these slippers are very comfortable. So those were the Moonlit Path. All right, so the next one, this is something I freehanded. My husband and I were going to the parade, and I've been seeing people make like these, like it's 1 mitten for 2 hands. So you can see like there's 2 cuffs, and it was so like nice because like on Black Friday, we like stood outside of Lowe's, like waiting to get the bucket, which we did. And this was something we could both stick our hands in. I'll just show you. And we could like this, and you could hold hands with your partner. Or, I mean, you could honestly just make it for yourself, and then you could just, you know, be able to hold on like this. Well, this would be convenient, too, I was just thinking, for one person. Because, like, this way you could have your hands, keeping your hands warm. But, like, if you want to check your phone or something, you need to pull out your hand. You don't have to, like, take off a mitten, have to, like, set it down or stuff it under your armpit or something. You could actually use this as one person. We use this so we could hold hands at Black Friday and while we were standing in line. I like to call it our love mitten because it's got a heart on it. So that was freehanded. And that was, I mean, easy enough. If you wanted to freehand this, I made the heart separate. And all I did was like start out with a magic ring. And then I just crocheted, I just, you know, increased until it was wide enough. And then I just continued with that number of stitches until I got to the top. And then I just split it in two and added 2 cuffs. I mean, pretty simple. Okay, so the next one is also one that I freehanded. Now, I had some dental work done, and I was like kind of wanting like a stress ball or something, but I was like, thought it'd be fun if I crocheted something like to do with a stress ball. So this is like so heavy. It's so weird to me, but I bought like the stress ball at Myers, and then I crocheted it to look like an alligator. So he's got a little tail, he's got little arms, and he's got these big old eyes and his snout here. But like, being that it's blanket yarn and the squishy itself was already like kind of heavy. This is like it doesn't look like it'd be that heavy, but it's surprisingly heavy. It was small enough though that I could stick it in the belly pocket of my hoodie, and then during my demo appointment when I was like getting nervous or something painful was happening, I could pull it out and just give it a squeeze. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's super, I just think it's cute. And I love alligators, so it works for me. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, and this is kind of funny. I've never done Thrummed mittens before, and when Marley had her first fall make-along, they did Thrummed mittens. And if you don't know what Thrummed mittens are, like, as you're crocheting your mitten, you're sticking pieces, like little bits, like, of these, what they call thrums, into your work. And so inside of this is just super fluffy. It's just full of this fluff. So when you stick your hand in here, it's like nice and warm. It's the fluff is what they call roving, I do believe. And I've never made Thrummed mittens, and these are so incredibly plush and soft. The funny part though, let me tell you that. So there's all this, all this roving and stuff. And Marley's like, okay, well, you just need to buy like one thing of roving and you'll actually be able to do, a few sets of mittens. And since I had never done thrums before, my thrums are way bigger apparently than they need to be, probably about twice the size, because I went through almost the entire thing of roving that was supposed to be able to be used for multiple sets of mittens. So that was, my own issue. That wasn't anything that she did wrong. It's just I got excited and I was like, oh, I want them to be so fluffy. So I'm really happy with those. Now let me look here. The actual name of those are the Rockies Thrummed mittens. Oh, and let me the one I was talking about for Turkey Trot, that one was called the Ridgeway Crochet Cowl. So I just want to make sure I give you the correct names. Like I said, I'll put links in the description. Okay, so let me grab this one. So this is, maybe you know what this is, but I'll tell you anyways. So this is what they call a squonk. Now a squonk is a mythical creature, kind of like Bigfoot or Mothman or one of those, like a cryptid. Now, the whole thing behind a squonk is they're known to be super ugly, and because they have all this like excess like rolls of skin, and then they have warts that have hair coming out of them, and they're supposed to be so ugly that like when people like see them and you like, they will just they're always crying and squonking, and if like you ever see one, they'll get so upset and they just turn to a puddle. And you can see this one's got little tears because they're always crying. But I went ahead and I bought, and if you've ever seen them, they're like a silicone rubber. They're like a pig, like a dog toy. And I put one of those in here. And so it would actually make noise. Now, the pattern did not call for that. That was my own idea. And it took me, I had to buy a couple different ones before I found the perfect one that would fit in it. But I think it's so fun. So he's got a little tail and everything. This pattern I absolutely loved. And I learned a new technique to get these like ridges in here. This was a paid pattern. And I definitely, though, would recommend it. Because I will definitely be making another one. Anyways, that's definitely one of my favorite things. Okay, so I'm on to, this is another one like I freehanded. Now I like alligators, and I was inspired by the idea of like a taxidermied rug. And I mean, if you're not into that, that's fine. No alligators were harmed in the making of this. This is a mug rug. So like, remember I got the new mugs yesterday? Well, this is to go like onto my desk, and so when I put my glass down, if I drink something cold and there's condensation or whatever, like I have this little mug rug that looks like a taxidermied alligator. So I'm pretty proud of this. Like I said, I just freehanded it, and I thought it was just kind of fun. He's got little legs and his little head and tails, and I did these like bobbles on his back for a little bit of texture. But they don't stick up too much that, like my cup doesn't sit stably on there. Anyways, I'm pretty proud of that one. This is, okay, so this is, let me look real quick, I still want to call it the wrong name. All About It. It's a newsboy hat. This is a marley bird. Let me remove my antlers for a minute here. I love this pattern. It is... I think this is probably my favorite hat pattern I've ever made. I just really think it's cute. The way that Marley puts together this bill, like, it's nice and stiff. I mean, it's still soft because it's yarn, but I mean, it stays in place. I just really love this. I think it's super cute. And this yarn I had bought originally for something else, and then I ended up like not using it, and I was like, well, let me just see how this, go ahead and stripes up. And this yarn, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I got it at Michael's. I'm pretty sure it was a loops and thread. I love this style of hat. I ended up making this one because I had a gray and white kind of an ombre looking one that was made out of, I want to say, Scarfy, and I love that one. I wore it like all winter last winter, but I couldn't find it. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to make a new one because this is definitely my favorite hat. I like that it's got the bill and it keeps the sun out of my eyes, and it comes down like just enough so it like covers the tops of my ears, and my hair goes nicely under it. Yeah, love it. So the next thing, now this was freehanded by me, technically. Now these are leg warmers. So I went ahead and I, I've been experimenting with Tunisian this year, and I made my own pattern. So these are leg warmers. Now this right here is I want to say the smock stitch, Tunisian smock stitch. And then I basically just like crocheted until it was like as long as I want it to be. I figured out the width, and then I just crocheted all the way till it was tall enough. And then I just sewed it. You can kind of see the seam there. And when I wear these, I just turn it to the back. And then I crocheted right this, the cuff here. And this part here does not have any elastic. This is actually the bottom, I just realized. That is the bottom. And I left like no elastic in it, but the top, in order to get the top to like stay in place, because I wanted to cinch between, like the top of my calf and the knee and that, that spot where your leg goes in a little bit. So I went ahead and I put some elastic in that part. And you figure since I'm wearing these over my leggings, this part doesn't rub on me or anything like that. Because I was worried about that, because I don't want something that's going to like rub on my skin and tear me up. But because it's on the outside of my leggings, that works really nicely. So yeah, so they're, nice and stretchy, and since they cinch in a little bit, they stay in place. Oh, you know what? I have one more thing I want to show you. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I almost forgot, and this is probably one of my biggest projects. It took me the longest this year. And it is the Llama-No-Drama. This pattern I found in Yarn Inspirations, and Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, he did a pattern. Like, he did a video version of the pattern, and I absolutely love this guy. For some reason, even though he is not a giraffe, I keep thinking of Jeffrey from Toys R Us, so he's gotten that name. And mine does not look exactly like the one from Yarn Inspirations, but that's the pattern I used. The amount of time this took me, I don't even know. It took forever because it's got all of this hair, you know, I mean, not hair, but all these loops. Every one of these little loops just takes forever. And oh my gosh, the whole thing took forever. Because he's just got so many of these loops to make all his hair. Now, I did not make the halter. They had a halter that went around the face, and they had a different style of blanket. Now, I personally thought this little wave blanket, I like this better, and I made the little tassels. So my blanket is totally different, and I did not put the halter on him, but I love him. He sits on my table, and he's just so precious. And I probably will never make another one again, but I love how all these loops just makes him look like this big old fluff ball. I totally think if you have the time and patience and you find him cute, like totally go for it, because he's worth it in the end. But whew, did he take a lot of time and a lot of yarn. I absolutely love him though, and I'm so glad that I made him. I had been looking at this pattern for like a really long time, and like I just was like, oh, I don't know. Because amigurumi, I would say, out of all my skills, it's my least strong skill. So I'm always a little hesitant. Also, my ear placement is different. If you like look up the pattern, the ears are more like on top of the head. Mine are a little bit farther down. I just think it gives him, having the ears down here instead of like up on the top of his head, I just like that look better. I think it makes him look just a little more like kind of fun and derpy. Anyways, that was a lot of stuff to show you. I know it's a little bit longer video around the holidays, but I'm so glad if you stuck around all the way to the end. So I won't keep you a minute longer. Thank you so much though for tuning in, and I hope you'll be back tomorrow. Until then though, take care.